And it all stems from their rolling code system to their keyless entry fob system. So, Adam, what do you think about this? You're not a Honda driver, are
I
you?
mean, so I've driven Hondas in the past. I love Hondas. They're just great vehicles. I think it's interesting because they use that rolling code system and basically they figured out a way to reset the rolling code system and therefore get access to the car. And I think the point here is just simple that if you're driving a car that has this level of sophistication, you just need to be aware of what's going on. You need to be aware that there are vulnerabilities and you need to be prepared to, get your car or your software updated from time to time just to make sure you're good to go. I mean, it's just important to do that. So, next article, White House says Americans should be, quote, really careful about using period tracker apps. So I've been hearing rumors about this in the news for probably the last 2 to 3 weeks, certainly ever since the most recent Supreme Court ruling. And the theory is that if you're using a period tracker app and you're in a state that has outlawed abortion, that they could potentially subpoena the owner of the period tracker app in order to identify whether or not you were pregnant and try to figure out if you have then broken the law or not. And so while I don't want to get into a political conversation here, what I do want to point out very simply is all the apps that we use store data, and that data can be subpoenaed and turned over to the authorities. And we need to be very careful about which apps we use, because if it turns out that they might store data that shows that we broke a law, we probably might not want to use that app. That's all I'm trying to say. So, Clara, you probably have something to say about this, I'd imagine.
I do.
So what are your thoughts?
I do. Oh, it makes me really, really sad because I am such an advocate for women just understanding their health better. And I think that whether you're on the spectrum of just, you're a woman, you want to know when your period's happening, or you're trying to get pregnant, or you're not trying to get pregnant, this is such an intimate and personal way that you can become more familiar with your body. I took some just so I mean, again, I don't want to have a political conversation. This does make me really upset. But some things you can do. So Flow, which I actually am not a Flow user, but I know a lot of people are. You can go into anonymous mode. So that's something to explore. I use Clue, and they're based in Berlin, which I don't think this is enough, but it says that it's based in a European location and it makes their data more secure. I would be
That could be
interested to see
true.
what more comes from Clue. But as Adam said, just be mindful of what you're doing and yeah, protect yourself and protect your data. Going to the continual apps online world, Prime Day. That was another holiday that happened this week. And it
Did you buy
was
anything?
the I was going to ask you the same. I didn't. No, I'm trying to really cut back on my spending.
Okay. All right.
And
That's fair.
so just for metrics, this year Amazon reported that they sold 300 million items, and this was up by 50 million, which was reported in 2021. 250 million items were
Wild.
sold in 2021, and
Wild.
so interesting things. I want to know if you bought anything, Adam, but I found this quote really fascinating. So inflation is top of mind for a lot of us these days. I know it is for me. And some of the top purchased items were necessities. So Frito-Lay snack packs were among the top purchased items. Yeah,
What?
so I mean, summer
On
snacks for
Prime
the
Day?
kiddos, like correct. That's what the article said. And it also made mention of something that we've talked about in a episode in a couple weeks ago, that they utilized Amazon Live. And I know we talked about TikTok Live and shopping and that being kind of sidelined or tabled. So over to you, Adam. What did you buy? Did you get any good deals? And did you do anything with Amazon Live?
Well, I did buy two things. I think both of
Okay.
them are likely going to become tech wrecks. I will preview and say one of the things that I bought is the tech wreck for today, and I'm not going to say what it is yet. You got to wait until the tech wrecks segment in order to see that. But it is fantastic. I'm just telling you right now, it's fantastic. So, and I got a good deal. I think I got it for like $100, and it was normally $150. So I felt like that was a pretty
That's
solid
great.
deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I felt really really good about it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready. I think I'm ready for the next Prime Day. All right, so we have, what is it, 3 weird and wacky articles, and man,
We
some of
do.
these are real weird, especially this first one. So I'm going to kick
Yes.
this off. I did read this article and I learned a lot, I'm going to say. So the article is titled, "Could Your Old Poop Cure Your Future Diseases?" So apparently there's this thing known as a fecal transplant. So I know it sounds insane. So inside of your fecal matter, there are what is it? What am I trying to say? Cultures and bacteria and things that are good for your gut.
Gut
And
biome. Yeah.
Thank you, gut biome. And so sometimes if your gut gets really messed up, you need these good cultures, these good bacteria reintroduced into your gut in order to kick out the bad bacteria that have accumulated in there for various reasons. So there are these things called fecal matter transplants, where they take fecal matter with good stuff in it. I know that's shocking. And they put it inside of somebody that's sick, and it helps to cure that person. And so the theory of this article is that perhaps you could have your own fecal matter from when your gut is healthy and you're young, for example, and you could freeze it and then use it at a later time if you end up getting a disease or something that could be cured by this method. So, yeah, that's shocking. I don't know what I think about this.
Is it in pill form? Because at the photo at the top of the article was like kind of
some of it. Yeah.
Okay,
some
so
of it's
that's not
so
the-
they do it by pill or enema. Or something else. Like there's several different ways they do it. I think based on maybe how much needs to be introduced, perhaps. But
Sure.
yeah.
So this isn't
Yeah.
the craziest thing, because I know that women who have given birth like have made their placenta into pills, and that can help with hormone letdown. So like people will do wacky stuff to make their, to get healthier. And this isn't the grossest thing I mean, I think if you do take away the ick factor, if it can make you feel better and it's more natural, and probiotics are so expensive, and granted,
that's
freezing
true.
and like powderizing your poop might be expensive too. I don't think that it's the wackiest thing that some health nut would do to feel better. I'm serious. Just like
I think
poor
powderizing
person.
your poop might be the phrase right there. That was amazing.
Yeah, would you powderize your poop? Also, poor person who has to powderize the poop. And that is my alliteration of the week. Total switch to something totally crazy. I don't know where you found this, Adam. Where do you find these things? So
have
a
no
musician
idea.
plays. Okay, yeah, I don't know what channels you're in, but the musician. Okay, so it's a YouTube video. A musician plays a solo on an enormous 69-string bass. So I sent this to my brother-in-law who plays bass, and he said that he, quote, cheated because he made the notes, like there's 3 strings per notes, but I still think it's cool. And I'm like, hey, be impressed.
Yeah.
But it reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen the SNL sketch of, how this is similar, but same, but different. When you talk about shaving, they're like 5 blades for extra comfort. And SNL did a sketch like 15, 20 years ago where they just did like a 30 blade razor. And this bass reminds me of that because it's just so wide. Like it really makes no sense.
It's as tall as the guy's
were you
torso, and he's like reaching way
Really?
over. I mean, it's a gimmick, right? But it's a gimmick that took him a long time to make, and he played reasonably well. And because of that, I thought it was entertaining, and it amused me,
Absolutely.
and so I shared it.
Yes.
But speaking of being amused and sharing something, this next one was like, whoa. Okay, so a couple spent $300,000 building a hidden underground home that you can enter by going down a 12-foot spiral slide tucked inside an unassuming tent. And so let me just unpack this for you just for a moment. So apparently they built this home underground in kind of the side of like a hill or almost like a cliff. And so there are actually windows going down the cliff in this thing, but from when you sort of pull up to the quote front of the quote house, literally it's like this tiny, almost child-size tent, and you walk in the flap of the tent, and there's this slide for you to
Moonrise
slide
Kingdom.
down, and you go into now. What I want to know is, how do you lock the slide at night to make sure nobody creeps up on you, like slides in on you? Like how do you make sure that's secure? I don't know, but it was fascinating. And honestly, for it only to cost $300,000, I'm impressed, because to dig out all that and do all that is pretty amazing. So there you go.
I think I would give it a go. I think knowing that it's not like a doomsday prepper situation where there are windows, it makes me more likely to try it. And it's in Asheville, North Carolina, for any of you in the Southeast. So could be it would be an interesting night stay. And I just love people who are creative with their hobbies, and this would absolutely be featured on a HGTV or like an architecture show. So
Yeah,
cool,
absolutely.
cool experience, guys.
All right, it is Tech Rec time. Clara, what do you have for us this week?
Okay, so I don't know if you know this about me, Adam, but I really love design, and I am very big on aesthetic. Like, I want to make my space in my electronic spaces because I spend so much time on the computer and my phone, unfortunately. Maybe fortunately, who cares? Whatever. This isn't a moral conversation. This is a tech wreck. And your daughter uses this, and your daughter is a cool and hip high schooler. So I know that I'm cool and hip with the
Yeah,
kiddos.
yeah, that's the
so
measure.
the
Yeah.
rec yeah, oh, absolutely. So the recommendation, the rec is Widgetsmith, and it is, yes, it's another app. Call me predictable, Adam. So it is an app where you install and you can make your phone look so cool. I was just wanting a refresh on my phone. I'm somebody that likes a little seasonal cleaning and electronic wipe off. Like you freshen the experience. So you can
Yeah, yeah.
customize your home screen or any lock screen on your iPad or your iPhone to include pictures or to have cute calendars or just make your phone a little bit less standard iPhone-esque. And they have some kind of inspiration on the App Store, but you can also look on YouTube for other people who have customized their phone. And it just makes me really happy every time I open my phone. And I've enjoyed making different pages for, like, I have one for health and frequently used, and then one that's more work related, so I can see it.
Nice.
So that's my app review.
Yeah, my daughter did one,
yeah.
and she made it like very monochromatic. Like it was all like one screen was all black and white, and another one was like
Cool.
all red or something. It was pretty slick, but it took a long time, and I don't have that kind of patience. So
Sure.
you know.
So, but you have patience for your tech rec, and you've really just been keeping me on my toes here. What is it?
Okay, all right. So I got the Elgato Stream Deck for here. Let me see if I can get it to focus here. Hello. Oh, it's not going to focus on me. All right.
You got to
so
put your hand behind it.
there we go.
There you go.
There we go. The Elgato Stream Deck. This is what I got for Prime Day. This is my tech rec. And so imagine, yeah, I mean, everybody knows keyboard shortcuts, right? Like maybe you have a keyboard shortcut to launch your email and whatever else. This is like keyboard shortcuts, but way cooler and way more effective. So it's a digital box, and you can customize digitally every single button on the box. There's 15 buttons on the screen, and then I can have multiple screens where I scroll through and the buttons just shift from one to the other. And I can control Spotify, and I can launch Spotify, or I can launch a specific folder if I want to, specific file folder, or I can change all the scenes in OBS, so I can go from having my logo, or I can go from having my logo and my name, my lower thirds, or I can have my thank you screen, and I can do that instantly just by pushing a button, which is kind of amazing, and change up my virtual camera. I can auto tweet, so if I'm about to go live, I can actually like push one button and it automatically tweets out a link to my YouTube channel for me, and then I can push the button to go live and I can automatically stream. Like, it's just, there's so many things. I'm just now barely digging into all of the amazing stuff that it can do. So it's fantastic. I love it.
And I have a question. Is it
Okay.
USB connected? How does it work? Like, how was it
Yes.
easy to install? Would you give it
Yes.
like
Yes,
a
USB connected.
my parents
super
can
easy
do
to
it
install. Yeah,
rating?
you download the app and you customize it. You drag and drop the functions over to the buttons that you want. You can swap buttons, move them all around. I mean, it's incredibly intuitive, incredibly easy to use, and it's just such a great device. I'm absolutely obsessed about it. So
I think
yeah,
it
totally
meets
love
the qualifications of your best tech rec because you're really
I'm
excited
telling
about
you.
it. I
I'm
love
telling
that for
It's
you.
fantastic.
Okay.
All right, Clara. How can our listeners find and connect with you?
Gosh, this has been such a journey. Thank you for having me. No, I have a podcast called Thoughts from Your Gal Pal. It has a candy heart on it. That's a way that you can see my work. And I also have a Substack that's related to that. Thank you so much for letting me come on and chit chat with you, Adam.
I really enjoyed it. It's been fantastic. Thanks for joining. If you want to find me, go to my website, adamjwalker.com. It's got links to all of the stuff, all the social profiles, all the Substacks, all the everything. Just go there, sign up for my newsletter. Would love to have you involved and get my weekly newsletter.